national affair. Teams from across the globe converge on this small town with one objective: hit members of competing teams with custard pies. The rules are simple. The teams of 4 stand across from each other and score points depending on where their thrown pie hits the member of the opposing team. Each player must throw with their left hand. It's 1 point for a pie landing below the shoulder, 3 points for the shoulder on up, 6 points for a dead-on pie in the face. The winning team, in fact, this year was called Pie Face.
Seems like a waste of good custard.
That's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow. News 3 at 5 starts right now.
Right now at 5, an inside look at the training, looking to help officers on the UW campus respond to critical situations.
A retired priest from Fort Atkinson heads to court on the charges of sexual assault of a child.
And tributes pour in for fashion icon Kate Spade, found dead this morning of an apparent suicide. A look back at her life. That is tonight at 5.
This is News 3 at 5.
Thanks for staying with us, everyone. The University of Wisconsin-Madison Police Department is now the first police department in Dane County to go through a new type of de-escalation training.
It aims to change the way officers think about use of force in critical situations. Amanda Quintana attended that training today, and she joins us with more on why the department believes that this is so important. Amanda?
Yes, well, it seems like every day another video comes out somewhere across the U.S. of a situation with police that quickly escalates to violence. UW-Madison police officers deal with people in crisis on a daily basis at the UW hospital, on campus, even in just a grocery store. And they are training to de-escalate those situations, slowing it all down and talking to the person to get them help.
Okay, what's going on today? Why do you have the knife?
The government.
The government?
Police officers are seeing situations like this one more and more.
I'll be honest, you holding the knife is making me a little uncomfortable, but I'm here to help you, so I'm willing to work with you.
UW-Madison Police is now the first police department in Dane County to take preparing for incidents like this one a step further, changing the way officers think about use of force with a new de-escalation training.
When we slow things down, when we slow that situation down, it forces officers to work on those verbal communication skills and building rapport with these individuals that they're trying to help keep safe.
What happens if he just casually saunters up to you guys?
The Integrating Communications Assessment and Tactics, or ICAT training, focuses on people with mental health issues or who are under the influence that aren't threatening deadly force.
Very tired.
You're tired?
Very tired.
Incidents where it's important for officers to show that they care, like in this scenario, someone having a mental health crisis in a university classroom.
Would you be willing to sit with us and talk with us for a minute?
Can't sit.
You can't sit?
We look from that from the start when we're recruiting officers. You know, do they have empathy? Are they going to be respectful? How do they treat people?
Chief Kristen Roman says at a time when the community and police relationship is strained, she wants to make sure all UW-Madison officers have the tools they need to interact with people human being to human being.
Any training that is focused on you know, a voluntary, peaceful, safe resolution to police encounters with people in crisis is certainly something that I prioritize.
The department sent 5 officers to get certified in this training, and that is called ICAT. And those officers are now training all the other officers in the entire department. They will all be trained by the next few weeks.
Amanda Quintana joining us in studio. Amanda, thank you.
A Madison public school teacher accused of sexually assaulting a student will not be charged. Dane County District Attorney Ishmael Ozan says he will not prosecute 51-year-old Terry Fay after his office determined the current evidence is insufficient. Fay has been on administrative leave from his position as a 5th grade teacher at Leopold Elementary School after the district learned about his arrest in October. Officials said this decision is not final, and anyone with information regarding this case should contact the Madison Police Department's Special Victim Unit. A retired priest from Fort Atkinson, accused of sexually assaulting a young boy, was in court today. Charlotte DeLeste is in the newsroom with what happened. Charlotte?
Susan, William Nolan was arrested in May on suspicion of sexually assaulting a boy more than 100 times over a 5-year period. In a preliminary hearing today, the court found probable cause that Nolan committed a felony and was bound over for trial on 6 counts of second-degree sexual assault of a child. A detective on the case testified at the hearing.
The victim disclosed that starting in February of 2006, he was sexually assaulted by the priest at that time, who was William Nolan. The victim refers to him as Father Nolan throughout the course of my investigation. He reported that numerous occasions he had was sexually assaulted.
The victim is now 25 years old and was a student at St. Joseph Catholic School in Fort Atkinson and an altar boy for the church when those incidents took place. Nolan is scheduled to be back in court on July 12th. Susan?
Charlotte DeLeste in the newsroom. Thanks, Charlotte.
First responders are called to thousands of car deer crashes in Wisconsin every year. A lot of them happen right here in Dane County. And the Wisconsin DOT says after hitting an animal, once you move your car safely off the road, you should call police or animal control. Don't try to touch the injured animal. Officials encourage you to take a picture of the scene, call your insurance company once you get home. Data shows there are more than 1.5 million deer vehicle collisions each year in the U.S., resulting in about $1 billion in damage to vehicles. Luckily, animal collisions are usually covered under insurance.
As far as your coverage, that's going to be something that's based on your individual policy. So it might be a good idea to check in with your agent and find out what is and isn't covered and what they might recommend you do in a situation like that.
Wisconsin drivers have a 1 in 72 chance of hitting a deer this year. That is the 5th highest odds in the country.
Let's get a check on the weather now. Meteorologist Dave Caulfield is in the Weather Center. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Susan. It was another beautiful day outside across southern Wisconsin with temperatures in the 70s and 80s and lots of sunshine. Not too many clouds showing up on visible cloud track with high pressure at least trying to dominate the region. We do have a cold front nearby, which is what's sparking those clouds to the south and west of Madison. Current conditions, low 70s, 71 to be exact in Madison as we take a look at the WISC-TV Skycam. East wind at 6 miles per hour, dew point in the 50s, very comfortable outside. Wind speeds, we could see that lake breeze once again taking its toll on spots closer to Lake Michigan out of the north and east at about 10 to 15 miles per hour that wind is. So temperatures along the lakeshore in the 50s, but right now in the 70s for south central Wisconsin, in the 80s closer to Prairie du Chien and Boscobel. That's still about 10 to 15 degrees cooler than this time yesterday. Dew points very comfortable for this time of year in the 50s, but for southern Wisconsin, or southwestern Wisconsin, I should say, a little bit more humid. So this evening, temperatures falling through the 60s into the 50s, mostly clear and cooler. We'll talk about some unsettled weather returning to the area in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you, Dave. People are sharing memories of fashion designer Kate Spade online today. She was found dead inside her New York City apartment this morning of an apparent suicide. Spade was 55 years old. She built a fashion empire, first with designer handbags and then eventually shoes, clothing, jewelry, and household items. Spade was born in Missouri and was a former editor at a fashion magazine. She launched her own company in 1993 with her husband, Andy Spade. After 14 years heading the company, they sold it in 2006. As of today, Kate Spade New York has more than 140 retail stores across the United States and more than 175 internationally.
The Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles were absent from what was supposed to be a celebration in their honor at the White House today. That's because President Trump abruptly canceled their invitation. Instead, the White House threw a party today calling it the Celebration of America. The event was originally scheduled to honor the Super Bowl champs, but the president rescinded that invitation late yesterday when he learned fewer than 10 players had planned to attend. He initially tweeted he was scrapping the event because Eagles players disagreed about standing for the anthem, although none had taken a knee during an anthem last season.
I wasn't shocked that he did that, but I was also kind of happy he did it because I didn't want this team to be disunited over this issue.
If this wasn't a political stunt by the Eagles franchise, then they wouldn't have planned to attend the event and then backed out at the last minute.
Instead of traveling to Washington, the Eagles players reported to their practice center for a team workout honoring Super Bowl champion teams at the White House. This is a tradition that goes back to the Reagan administration.
Voters in 8 states today are going to the polls in primary elections. Democrats are hoping to take back the House, which would mean flipping 24 GOP seats. One of the tougher battlegrounds is in California. Chris Martinez and Kenneth Craig have more on today's races.
See if somebody's home here.
This Southern California district has been solidly Republican for decades. Hans Kierstead is one of the Democratic candidates trying to change that.
Get out the vote.
A scientist specializing in stem cell research, Kierstead says an anti-Trump backlash in Orange County has made incumbent Dana Rohrabacher vulnerable.
This district used to be very right-winged Republican. Now it is very moderate. Rohrabacher's days are over.
But there's an extra twist here in California, where the two candidates with the most votes make it to the general election, no matter which party.
I hope you can support me.
Republican primary challenger Scott Baugh is predicting Democrats will be shut out.
The Democrats have banked all their hopes on coming in here and taking this seat from the Republicans. If there are 2 Republicans in the general election, the Democrats lose automatically.
On the East Coast, Democrats are looking for a shakeup in New Jersey. Kenneth Craig is there.
Here in Parsippany, New Jersey, this House district is looking at a competitive race for the first time in years.
This is where we start to flip the House of Representatives.
Navy veteran and former prosecutor Mikey Sherrill is trying to turn this suburban district blue. She says she jumped into District 11's primary race with 4 other Democrats because the Republican in office for more than 2 decades stopped listening.
Representative Frelinghuysen was refusing to hold town hall meetings, was refusing to take phone calls and to hear from his constituents.
Congressman Rodney Frelinghuysen is not seeking re-election.
We'll see you there, okay?
State Assemblyman and Attorney Jay Weber is one of 5 Republicans who want to be his successor.
This seat could go Democrat, but it won't because we're going to stop him here.
And how do you do that?
We get our message out.
The one thing everyone seems to agree on is that there's a lot at stake, not just for their district, but for the country.
Kenneth Craig for WISC News 3.
And News 3 will have more on the elections coming up tonight at 10.
Well, if you have a great idea for a business or a startup, this week is your chance to launch it right here in Madison. The annual Entrepreneurs Conference at Union South on the UW campus offers a whole host of ways to help you create a business, whether it's free legal advice, how to find investors, social media 101. You can learn all of it at the conference this week. If you're thinking about starting a business of your own, here's some more free advice from a local success story.
I never knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. I thought I was going to go to law school. But there was a certain point where that switched and said, wow, starting a new business is exciting. It's fun. It's energizing.
That was Scott Resnick, the former alder and mayoral candidate. He is behind Hardin Development, a company he started in his dorm room at UW more than a decade ago. He also works for Starting Block, a new business to help grow other startups. If you'd like to go to the event, we have an agenda plus a list of contacts on our website, channel3000.com. And still ahead on News 3 at 5, a teacher has been found guilty of preparing a terrorist attack in central London, Britain's first all-female terrorist plot.
And the organizers of the Miss America pageant announce a big change regarding the swimsuit competition. We'll hear from a former winner next at 5. Hundreds of families in Guatemala are searching for survivors of a deadly volcano explosion. 69 people have died so far as a result of the recent explosion. Only 17 of those victims have been identified. The volcano west of Guatemala City erupted Sunday. This is video of ash left behind. Many were buried alive by hot ash and mud. Authorities say the scorching, fast-moving flows left some victims unrecognizable. They will have to be identified through DNA testing or other means. Officials expect the number of those killed to rise.
A London teenager is accused of planning a terrorist attack with the help of her older sister and mother. A jury found the 18-year-old guilty of plotting an attack against a British museum. Prosecutors say she discussed using guns and grenades with an ISIS fighter in Syria. The two allegedly met online. She then enlisted her older sister and mother to help her. Both were arrested and pleaded guilty to terrorism charges.
We believe that they were going to attack members of the public at random, using knives with a view to inflicting injury or certainly killing individuals.
The three will be sentenced in the next few weeks.
Here's another sign of the times. Lord & Taylor will close its iconic Fifth Avenue department store in New York City. The store opened in 1914. It's located near Times Square. The store's owner agreed to sell the building for $850 million to a company called WeWork. The days of the Miss America swimsuit competition are over. The new all-female leadership of the Miss America organization announced the change today. Competitors have paraded on stage in swimsuits and heels for 97 years. Debbie Turner Bell won the coveted crown and title of Miss America in 1990. Like many contestants, she says she starved herself, sometimes eating only an apple a day to fit into her swimsuit. Bell applauds the all-new female leadership at Miss America for the major makeover.
I remember just being thrilled. I can also tell you honestly, my feet hurt and I was hungry because I hadn't eaten in a while.
The change follows last December's email scandal in which former Miss America officials used sexist and lewd comments to describe contestants. Instead of wearing swimsuits, the contestants will discuss their goals and achievements with the judges in an effort to capture the crown.
Another beautiful day out there. Dave Caulfield on the backyard patio to tell us what we can expect in the days ahead. Dave?
Well, temperatures, Eric and Susan, will be getting slightly warmer over the next couple of days, but not anything too hot, especially considering that we're in the beginning of June. So we really don't have to worry about cranking up the AC to crazy levels over the next couple of days. But what a difference a month makes, right? June precipitation, only 1/10 of an inch of rain so far. Average for the month is about 4.5 inches of rain. We had a trace come through last night into early this morning, but look at these changes. I think I missed a ch in there. Forgive me. May 1 through 4, basically 3.5 inches of rain, and the start of June, 1/10 of an inch. Now, interestingly enough, June 2017 last year started dry as well, and then we got a whole lot of rain in the back half of the month, getting close to 7 inches overall for June 2017. So our departure from normal, we're actually running about ½ an inch behind schedule as far as June rainfall goes. We do have plenty of chances for showers and thunderstorms coming up, however. Doppler track is quiet this evening. Any rain that fell overnight is now well to our south and east, closer to Indianapolis. Doppler track a little bit closer to home is also still quiet. Lone Rock, Madison, Janesville, we're looking at sunny skies. It was a beautiful day outside. Really not much to complain about. Downtown Madison looking absolutely gorgeous on the Edgewater sky cam. The almanac for today a little bit below normal in temperature land, but I don't think we're complaining all that much, folks. It was absolutely fantastic today. Still is fantastic. 71 in Madison, 70 in Watertown, closer to the lakeshore Milwaukee at 55 because of that lake breeze, and warmer closer to Prairie du Chien at 80 degrees right now. A little bit more humid for southwestern Wisconsin, but for the rest of us, very comfortable air. Right now, wind speeds, you can see that lake breeze still packing a bit of a punch, but for the rest of us, that wind not too bad. This evening for Bike Week, it was a nice start to Bike Week, but for the next couple of days, our storm chances are increasing. Higher humidity is coming in. Dew points will return to the 60s. We will have some sunny times to get that cycling in, but for the most part, not the best weather, but we can make it work. Tonight, partly cloudy and cooler with temperatures dipping into the upper 40s for some of us. Tomorrow, increasing clouds and mild with late day thunderstorms coming through, at least a possibility. Temperatures will be in the 70s, so some clouds will be with us tonight. Not too much to worry about. It's a great night to maybe open those windows. Great sleeping weather on the way with temperatures dipping into the 40s. Then as we head into tomorrow, the clouds will be on the increase and the chances are on the increase for some showers and storms. Some could be a little bit on the strong side, especially west of Madison as we head into Wednesday. Thursday, there's a slight chance for showers and storms, but that doesn't look like a very likely scenario as we head into Thursday. But more storm chances on the way for Friday and Saturday. We get a break on Sunday and then they come back Monday and Tuesday. But notice those temperatures, folks, really only staying in the low to mid 80s, and that's definitely doable for this time of year. It did look like maybe getting a little bit hotter toward the middle of this month. We'll continue to watch that, but as of now, nothing that really we can't handle for the late spring, early summer season. Now let's take a look at your first alert traffic update. We're taking a live look at Rimrock Road and the Beltline. Slow go in both directions. No major accidents or incidents to report across Dane County, which is good news, but those slowdowns really starting to show up on the Beltline. But closer to Stoughton Road and the interstate, not looking too bad right now, but that midsection is where a lot of those delays are right now. So your drive times, University Ave eastbound to Verona Road, 11 minutes, and Verona Road to John Nolan, 17 minutes. Very slow right now with an average speed only around 15 miles per hour. And that is your first alert traffic. So the good news is the hot temperatures really aren't coming to us just yet, but the unsettled weather definitely is as we head into the rest of this week.
All right. Thanks, Dave.
Some technology experts are encouraging people to cut down on their Facebook friends lists. How it could protect your privacy. That's next at 5. Welcome back. Do you know all of your Facebook friends? It is a growing problem that could lead to a digital privacy problem.
Hannah Doba has more on the steps you can take to keep social media information safe.
Dave Levy joined Facebook in 2004, and over the years, his friends list skyrocketed to 2,400 people. Soon, his page was clogged with posts he had little interest in seeing.
It's funny that we always kind of think of these relationships as friends, but it's coworkers, or it's a former client, or it's a former grad school colleague.
The more friends you have, the less control you have over your information.
Consumer Reports cybersecurity editor Bree Fowler says an oversized social network can have privacy repercussions.
The more people you have that can see your information, the more likely that maybe a hacker or someone who may not exactly be who they say they are is going to sneak through.
But there are ways to protect yourself.
You can create sublists, different groups of friends, close friends, work friends, family. You can unfollow, you can snooze for 30 days.
And consider some routine housekeeping.
You kind of have to just do a quarterly purge and go through and weed people out.
But a quarterly purge, that doesn't seem very easy, especially for people who have hundreds of friends, which is most people these days.
Well, the easy thing you can do is, you know, we get those birthday notifications. Well, if they're not someone you would actually post online a happy birthday to, maybe you don't need them as a friend anymore.
It's a strategy that worked for Levy.
I think probably over the last 6 months to a year, I've reduced my friends by between 600 and 700 people.
Levy now sees more of the posts he wants to see while making his time online safer. Hannah Doba, CBS News, Yonkers, New York.
Facebook also allows you to prioritize which friends' posts you see in your news feed, and you can decide who gets to see your posts.
Time for some house
me.
cleaning. All right, we'll have another check of your forecast when we return. Stay with us. Finally, at 5, people visiting Central Illinois, and we know there are a lot of people visiting Central Illinois. They'll be able to see the world's largest gavel.
The massive gavel is outside the Clark County Courthouse in Marshall. It's 66 feet high and 17 feet long. The whole thing is made out of red oak. The giant gavel was built to honor the long legal history of the Clark County Courthouse, which is one of the places where President Abraham Lincoln practiced law. Now it'll be a tourist attraction.
Our producer's from Central Illinois. That's why I was.
That's why it's got in there.
Order in the court,
Yeah,
for sure.
that's
you
a
can't,
big gavel.
No disorder with
dropping the hammer.
Gavel. And as far as the weather is concerned, there's also order in the forecast. Temperatures will be in the 70s tomorrow with a chance of showers and storms.
CBS Evening News is next. We're back in 30 minutes with News 3 at 6. Stay tuned.